Hello, I'm Jazz, and welcome back to the Cosmic Jester, where I use my own deck of trickster energy cards along with wax divination in order to give you a kind of a sassy message. Now, I'm so excited because I actually just picked 160 of my favorite these cards. I've got probably, oh, look, I've got them all backwards. I've got probably 400 or 500 of these that I've made so far, but I had 160 of them put into an actual deck, so you guys will get to see that soon, and I'm just gonna, make more. So let's see what the Cosmic Jester has to say today. It's been one of those days, y'all. And then I'm also gonna pull one card from this Nicoletta Checkley deck to kind of give us, round out our messages, and then we'll do some wax divination. All right, we have this beautiful card. Okay, there is a girl. She's like in a beautiful tower, like a castle, but it looks like kind of like made of like toys, and there are insects, and everything seems kind of okay. She looks a little wistful. Let's see, there's a little knight looking thing there or something like that. So let's see what our message is and see what direction that card is actually going. Kind of see how our wax is doing. It's a getting there. It's a getting there. It gets so hot. All right. The old gods would like to congratulate you on your escape. Look at that. Look at that. You know, it's funny because I'm getting kind of multiple things here. The escape can be from another person. The escape can be from a situation. When you see this, you think, oh, she needs to escape. But sometimes this is the escape. Building your boundaries. Putting yourself in a safe place. And there's this idea that, like, if you become too guarded, that, you can't let true love in and stuff. But I feel like that it's better to go that way than the other way, where you make yourself very vulnerable, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that'll take advantage of you. So the idea is to find a good balance. But I think for a lot of people, they tend to go too far the other way of like over giving. And so there's a double invitation here. One is congratulations on escaping a difficult situation or a difficult mindset, but also congratulations on building your boundaries. Your escape is also your protection, right? Let's take a look at this. Let's see what the wax is going to tell us today. You know, this is one of my favorite things to do because so much of what we're taught is that all lessons have to be kind of dreamy. All lessons have to be very serious. But the Cosmic Jester, or, the sacred fool energy, the trickster energy, says something else. It says, let's hold a mirror up to the absurdity, right? All right, let's see what we're seeing here. I'm actually seeing like a person here, and it's like they're talking down to this other person. And behind this person who's being talked down to is a group of other people who are kind of pushing this person towards this other person. So it's almost like you were in a situation where you were kind of being lorded over, or you were being treated like you were stupid, and you stayed in that situation longer than you should have. And remember, this could be anything from a job to a relationship to a family situation to a friendship, anything. Because people pressured you that this is the right thing to do, that this is who you should be. And now you're like, I'm out. And sometimes that's just mentally. You're able to check out mentally. You're able to, I think it's called gray rock, if it's a situation you can't actually get out of physically. Obviously, get any help you need. I always say that because I really mean it. You'll be surprised how much help helps. I'm also feeling like there's like a platform here. And so the idea is that the situation that you escaped was the kind of situation where everyone else was supporting the status quo. And so even though you were the one at the bad end of this, everyone was still supporting the other person more and kind of pushing you towards, oh, that's the way things are. This is how we do it. That's why I'm getting this energy as being like, you know what? Your part of your liberation is your space, creating a space that feels sacred and special to you. Now we're going to take it to another layer. We always do 3 levels of wax and 3 Cosmic Jester cards to kind of fill out the message. Let's do that. Okay. Moving that right here for a moment so I can pull another card. All right. Already I'm getting a feeling of like a hammer, like the hammer's come down. Like something has happened that really, like you were very blind to something in this situation, and then it just hit you all at once, what was really going on. And the feeling of betrayal around it is very heavy. And that's because you really were convinced by the way people treated you, by the way people acted, that you were being dramatic, or that you were just not playing the role correctly, or that you were just missing some big point, but you weren't. You weren't. You were right. And I feel like you're starting to feel vindicated. This is your moment. Say the old gods would like to congratulate you on your escape. You are vindicated, right? The universe remains far stranger than your worries. A beautiful reminder that people will get you tangled up in their manufactured drama, and you'll forget that there are things like waterfalls and aurora borealis and, you know, beautiful lagoons filled with coral reefs. You know, they'll get you so caught up in these manufactured stuff that is completely unnecessary that you forget all the miracles around you. You know, I did an Akashic record reading on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, in Tea and Spirits. Tea leaf reading. I very much encourage you to go see that. It is all about, you know, this divine love. The moon has noticed that you keep volunteering for quests that are not yours. Yeah. You're not meant to be in this place anymore. There's a doorway here. There's an opening. There's you're being called for a time of inner reflection and inner quiet, in such a way of finally like liberation, like openness. But it's not like before you thought that you kind of had it, the idea correctly. But now it's like you can see so clearly. And it's been really difficult because a lot of times, you know, there's a long time between when you see things clearly and you can actually exit something mentally or emotionally or physically. And so when that happens, you know, that's the path to integration we're always talking about. Like there is learning something, and then there's integrating it. And in between is that liminal space where who you were is gone, but you can't unsee what you've learned. And then you don't know where you're going next. Let's take a look at this last message. I get, it's interesting because I get like a couple things. I get like an angel here with like a bird flying above, but then I get like this mountain almost like wrapped around it. The feeling of, you know what, this really does go with yesterday's Tuesday's reading, which was about the cloak of Christ. So like the idea of Christ consciousness and the cloak of protection around you. And that's the idea that you have always protected yourself. You've always done what you needed to protect yourself. And a lot of times you've been trained to look outwardly, but really you are your guardian angel as much as any external force, right? You are the one who's always been there for you. You know, it reminds me of a line from that Florence and the Machine's song where she says, I can't help but pull the earth around me to make my bed, or something like that. That's the feeling I get, like you are surrounded by love, by miracles. if this person's manufactured drama is something that you feel like you need to escape from or that you have had to escape from, take some time to just love yourself, to hold yourself, to see the wonders that are around you that you forgot because you were trained from birth to take on other people's stuff. You know what? That's their stuff. And they'll get very mad at you and they'll punish you in a lot of different ways in order to not have to take their own stuff back on, right? All right. Powerful message from the wax and from the jester today. So I'm so glad that you're here. Please tell me below how this is moving in your life, how it feels to be, to start getting into that really independent, powerful energy. And I will see you next time. Take great care of yourselves.